Whoops, sorry. Sorry about that. Well, I thought I'd come out and put a 3-layer system on and see how it feels, and it feels pretty good. I originally had a cotton shirt on with a 2-layer system, 2-layer camel, and the I was chilly. We got a fight going on. So I went and got the merino wool one, which is a very thin layer, and now I'm completely warm. My fingers are a little bit cold. I could have used a thicker glove. We're down to about 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit. It's supposed to be colder tomorrow. That place that's an hour away from me that got flooded, a lot of those people are sleeping in tents, little $60 Walmart tents because their houses are gone. They're going to be in for a very cold next 4 or 5 days. They probably never thought they'd have to sleep in that type of weather. So, by the way, this is White Leg, and he's kind of attached to me. He's an old cat. He's about 10 years old. And if you see his ears clipped, I'm not sure if you can see that means he's been fixed, neutered. But for 5 years, he wouldn't come near anybody. He was out here and he was breeding. We couldn't catch him. We tried to cage him and catch him in live traps. No. Finally, I started petting him when he'd rub up against me, and he finally got to the point where he liked it. And then I was able to finally get my hands around him and get him neutered. And ever since then, I can't sit on the porch without him running and jumping on me. He just loves cuddling up to me. It don't matter how uncomfortable it is. Now, with Nova, my female German Shepherd that I recently bought, and Cosmo, my black German Shepherd, they got along good. I mean, they kept playing with each other. They kept having a good time, knocking shit over. I mean, it was just fun sitting in my chair while I was coding, watching the two of them play. And then the one day, Cosmo decided to pin Nova to the floor and try to hump her. And I went, oh, no, 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 we're not going to have that. So a decision had to be made. One of these dogs had to get fixed. Now, they say, from what I read, you don't want to neuter or fix a German Shepherd until they're at least 2 years old. Because apparently their body releases a lot of chemicals. If you fix them too soon, then you shorten their lifespan. At least that's what I read on Google. So, Cosmo, the male black, became the answer. Plus I figured he'd be a bit cheaper because he's a male. Females, you got to cut you open and go in, where males are a lot easier to neuter. So, okay, I do that. He was almost or over $300. I couldn't believe it. Just to neuter him. He was about 92 pounds. He is a big dog. And they were scared of him. I mean, when I brought him in, all of them were scared of him. And they couldn't get over how glued to me he was. Okay, I hear the opossum. And it looks like he disappeared. Oh, there he is. So, when I took Cosmo in, they had me take him to a room. They gave him half a needle to knock him out, and then they come and give him another needle, knocked him up fully. The young man come in, picked him up, and put him on the table. So, okay, he's good to go, I'm out. At the same time, I thought, well, I'm going to get Nova looked at, the female pup, because she's just had pure diarrhea for 4 weeks. Now, I've been giving her rice 4 times a day, half a plate each time, and it would get mushy, but it would never get firm. And sometimes, after 3 days, she'd even try to heave up, which usually is a sign of something being embedded in the intestines or parasites or something like that. So I took her in. Now you gotta remember the first vet I went to gave her. He's not afraid, is he? And I gave her. She had hookworm. We treated her for that. She's taken 5-in-1. She's had 3 shots. So we did another, and that first vet was 200. So we did another parasite check, and there was no parasites. Okay, so we ruled that out. So then I'm looking at the vet and I'm saying, we need the x-ray her. He says, that's not cheap. That's like $75. I says, well, how are we going to know if she ate something and there's something stuck in her intestines and she needs to have surgery? He says, well, we're not. I says, well, let's take her in. So I took her down there. We put her on the table. We x-rayed her. And there's nothing in her. She looked good. So, okay, we got no parasites. There's nothing in her intestines. Everything looks awesome. So now we're running some type of packaged food that I give her every day. And I'm giving her some type of vitamin twice a day. Now it's helping. I mean, she doesn't have pure diarrhea, pure water. She's got mush, so it is making a difference slowly. And there is a dog food I'm going to switch over to. So I can almost reach out and grab that guy. He is so close to me. That's the crazy thing about it. He's like my little buddy. Now he's eating dog food. I put dog food down because it's cheaper and the cat food on my left. Now he'll eat the cat food better than the dog food. He likes the cat food better because I think it's higher protein and he knows it. But you'll notice that little guy isn't, he's not worried about me, is he? Now, a lot of people say they look like rats, but, and they do. But they actually eat ticks and they kill snakes and they kill rats. They're actually quite beneficial to your yard, believe it or not. So keeping them healthy is a good thing. And they don't have a very long lifespan. They really don't. And when they have babies, they climb into a pouch inside them under their belly. And then when the babies get bigger, they climb out onto their backs. And then when the babies fall off their backs, that's when they're on their own. They're quite an interesting animal. They're not stupid by any means. And you can tell the difference when they're eating compared to a cat. The crunching is a whole lot louder. Something else. Heck, yesterday when I was sitting on the porch, a deer come running right across 2 fields in front of me and then ducked way down in the long grass. My crossbow would have been sighted in. I could have sat here on the porch and took a doe. I was like, look at that. Probably scared. Some hunter must have scared him out of the bush. So Nova, back to Nova. So Nova, my German Shepherd, she cost me $250. So she's cost me I bought her for $200. She cost me $200 at the first vet. This vet, she cost me $250. Just to make sure. And you'll notice cats aren't scared of the opossum. It's like they're buddies. So she all checks out. So we're going to take her and put her on a Purina 1 health type of dog food. And we got her on 2 other things to help get her stool better. We're basically killing the bacteria in her stomach, and we're introducing new bacteria, is what we're doing. Now, since we've been doing this, she's changing. She's playing more. She's getting in trouble more. Because she's feeling better, right? Every morning, the dogs get a couple small carrots, usually twice a day. Now, it's good to give your dog carrots because it cleans their teeth. And when dogs get older, when they start getting, 10 years old, 12 years old, their mouths stink and then they need dental work. And that can be $1,000. But if you just give them a couple carrots, and carrots are good for them, then you won't have to deal with that. And plus, it keeps their breath smelling good. Just about everything they sell in the store is no good for your dog. Rawhides, milk bones, all this stuff is garbage for your dog. So don't even give it to them. Give them a couple carrots. So Cosmo's learned how to use his collar that he's got wrapped around his head. He's a wrecking crew. Now he's already tried to break a few things. He almost broke my monitor. I mean, he comes out from behind my computer desk because I can't put him in his kennel because the collar's too big. So he's literally sleeping underneath my computer, and he'll come out from there like a rhinoceros, and he'll just run right into you. Kind of ridiculous. Now he has to keep that collar on for 14 days. It's only been on for 4. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll cheat and take it off in 12 days because this is turning into hell, is what it is. But he was over $300 to neuter. With her, I'm at I'm at about $650 for her from the time I bought her. So, but I wanted to try this weather out tonight. Feels pretty good. Tomorrow I'm going to set up my tent and I'm going to get my Western Mountaineering backpack. And we're going to sleep all night. I'm going to take Nova out and see if I can train her. Sleep right beside me. And test out some of that gear. I need to go out and try sighting up my scope again on my crossbow. But between work, sounds like wolves, huh? Do you hear that? Maybe coyotes? I think that's coyotes, is what that is. See, this town is so small that the cats are all looking. It's nothing to see these animals come right into town. Deer, coyotes, groundhogs, raccoons. I've got about 22 raccoons around my house. Yeah, those are coyotes. They must have got some food, is what it is. You know what's funny? I got about, I guess, 10 cats that hang out on my porch. And I think the wife's got about 4 in the house. The bill to feed these cats, oh my God, it's like $150 a month. Can't believe it. And they're all neutered, fixed, whatever. And it took some time to catch them all. And I'll come up, 2 o'clock in the morning like it is now. And I'll lay out a couple bowls of food. And of course the little bowl of dog food so the opossum can eat. And give them all a little bit of munching. You got to understand, to understand the coldness, especially for your body, when you get this cold spell, like right now it's 0 and 32 Fahrenheit, you want to come up and sit in it for, a couple hours and slowly get your body used to it. That's very important. And then you could play with it, take your hat off or take your gloves off. Like right now, the tips of my fingers are a little bit cold, so I could use a better glove. But everything else is fine. Did I scare him? I must have. He'll be back. So, as I was saying, the opossum seems to have run away. You should go out and get your body used to. Oh, cat's going in the house. Get your body used to the cold. Now you figure that one place, I think it's Erin, Tennessee, they're about an hour from me, they got hit with those floods, and they got some $60 Walmart tents that they're going to be staying in. And the last thing you want to do is bring those propane heaters in or anything like that because of carbon dioxide. It'll kill you. And of course, they're not used to it or have any experience with it. So I'm sure we're going to start seeing things like that happening. That's because people are trying to stay warm. Like you figure, I'm not sure if you can see that, but you want to adapt your body. Now, tomorrow I'm going to go out and camp and see what that feels like and see if I can get Nova used to it. Look at him. You know? I didn't think the cats would start using those houses right away because we got heating pads in them. And when they step on the heating pads, obviously they get warm, so it heats up inside the coolers. I've got 10. I think I've got 10 cats out here, and some of them cuddle up together. But I probably could make a couple more. I might before it gets really cold. I think he's back, guys. Yeah, he's back. Funny thing about food, it'll make you come in, right? And he only comes out at night. He doesn't come out during the daytime. And he'll knock off that whole bowl of dog food in 2 days. They love to eat, I'll tell you. There used to be two of them. I don't know where the other one went. Maybe it got killed or something killed it. I don't know. But that's one of the joys of living in a small town. I mean, animals are just part of it. And a lot of people, from what I understand, are afraid to sleep in the bush, which I thought was kind of funny. When I sleep in the wilderness in my tent, I sleep like a baby. I don't have any problem. I got my sidearm. I'm good. There's nothing that makes me afraid whatsoever. We don't. I think we have one black bear around here. I think I've heard some sightings. People have seen them on their deer cams. But if I was to go more north, like 5 hours, up near Dolly Parton Place, then you start seeing bears everywhere. So, but getting yourself used to the winter because I don't know if I say this word, acclimate. I can't say it, but basically it means get your body used to the cold. So if you were to sit on your front porch for a couple hours every now and then when it gets cold out, and put your layering system on and see how it feels. Like right now, the tips of my fingers are cold, so I know it's 0 degrees. These little light gloves I got are not going to cut it. And that's the thing. Now, my Western Mountaineering sleeping bag I picked up that was like $1,200. Um, I have no worries with that. I mean, that'll take me down to -20, no problem. But it's heavy. It's 4 pounds. I couldn't put it in my pack. I had to put it on the bottom. It's heavy. But you have to, when you got your pack, you have to balance it. Weight for comfort is what you got to do. And I like to be warm, and that's just me. And when you work on a sleep system, it starts with the pad and it goes all the way up to the sleeping bag, is what it does. Now, if you plan to winter camp, there's no such thing as doing it cheap. So get that out of your friggin' head unless you want to die. And that's all there is to it. You're going to need a $200-300 pad. You're going to need another pad that's $50. I mean, you're going to need a $350 setup just underneath you. And then you get into whether you go to quilt, your sleeping bag, whatever. Now, down's the warmest, but you don't want it to get wet. So it's very important you take care of it. Where I run a garbage bag inside my sack, and then the sleeping bag goes in it, and then that goes inside the sack. So it's literally I got double protection of rain. Double protection from it getting wet is what I mean to say. But and you can camp in pretty cold weather. I've seen people camp in -40, -42, and but you got to be very, very careful when you get into those temperatures, because I've seen those same people that are very experienced, and part of their hand was outside of the sleeping bag, and he's actually getting a drink of water. I'll go low here. See? He's thirsty. I mean, literally, I could reach out and grab him by the back of the neck. That's what I could do. That's amazing. He's drinking like a train, man. So when you're in a big city, I don't know if you see stuff like this, but in small towns, you can hear it's quiet. There's no cars. There's nothing. Super, super quiet. No police, no fire, nothing. You hear the odd dog barking, but it's very, very, very quiet when you get into small towns. Guess we're going to go back to eating again? I think so. Whoops. So, like I was saying, layer yourself up. Go sit on your porch. That's the first thing you do. If you're planning on doing some winter camping. And then camp in your yard. I always camp in my yard every winter like I'm going to do tomorrow night. I do that a couple times as a trial run. And then once I'm confident with that, with my equipment, then I'll go. My Western Mountaineering sleeping bag is new, but I still want to test it. I don't want to take anything to say, oh, it's one of the best sleeping bags, you know. You still want to test things and see how it feels. And that's very, very, very important, is what you're doing. And then when you're confident, then go camping, but don't go too far from your truck. Keep your vehicle or your car close by. And then do that, because if something goes wrong, you can always get in your vehicle and warm up, right? But once you get experienced with winter camping, oh, it's one of the most enjoyable things you can do, because now you'll probably want a fire because it's kind of chilly. So make sure you do that away from your tent. You don't want the sparks hitting your tent or your equipment. And there's no bugs. You don't have to deal with it. No spiders. You have to deal with that. Snakes have all gone into hibernation. The only thing you're fighting in the winter when the cold snaps is the cold. You're not having to look after all these other things like all these animals, right? But you have to prepare yourself to get into it. Now, I do have a video on pads that you sleep on, and it took a lot of work to make that video. You know, it's funny, I don't get that many views, and I probably don't have it. I probably don't have a keyword properly, but I'll put a link in the bottom. If you're thinking about winter camping, you should check out that video and try to understand why pads are so important to the point where you get to your sleeping bags. And don't think for a minute you're going to buy some sleeping bags for $50 and you're going to sleep in the winter. You're not. Whether you decide to go with quilts or and you're going with down, I don't care. And, you know, some people use artificial, but down's way better. I mean, you're probably looking at minimum $400 for a decent bag to go over top of you. So if you don't have the money, don't even think about doing it. But winter camping is a whole new different skill level. And those people that are in Erin, Tennessee from me that had that flood, and they're an hour from me, they're about to find that out the hard way. I hope they got a building put up where they can get into it's heated. Because I don't think most of them are, you know, are skilled enough to do that. And it does take skill. It really does. So are you going to go somewhere? I guess my opossum guy's gone. He's had enough. He's full. He's going to go off the end of the porch, so he's gone. So, this video is probably kind of long, but for those that did watch it all, tomorrow we're going to go camping in the yard, check out the temps, see if we can handle it. Both German Shepherds are doing well. Oh, I had to replace my stove. I had a new stove come in today. I don't mind that. That stove was like 22 years old, and it was one burner was working on it. I kept postponing it First, it was down to 3 burners, then it was down to 2. Wife was complaining. And then it went down to 1 burner, and she was like, "Oh, this is stupid." I said, "What do you mean stupid? When I go camping, I cook on 1 burner, you know." And then finally, it didn't have a setting. When she turned it on, it just went super high. It was like lava. I was like, wow. So I had to break down and buy one. And nowadays, it's like you search your reviews, figure out which one you want, then buy it. I bought mine from Home Depot because it was like $100 cheaper than Lowe's. But when it was all said and done, it was like $900. And then they delivered it and dropped it on the porch. That was it. Took the boxes off and everything. They took the boxes with them. I think it was $25 for delivery, which really is quite convenient because I'm in a small town. Those stores are 2 hours from me. I do have a pickup truck, but, you know, pain in the butt unloading it from the truck when they can just drop it on the porch. And guess what? My dryer broke. Yeah. Are you stretching? Huh? So I got no dryer, so we're hanging we're hanging things on the line. I guess Saturday I'm gonna order a dryer. It's gonna be a Speed Queen, and it's gonna cost me $1,500. I wanted to buy another tent, but the dryer broke, so we're gonna get that. And it'll take them almost a week and a half to deliver that. So I'll be without a dryer for the next 2 weeks. But we got a clothesline, it's not a big deal. But and if you haven't heard Speed Queen, go check it out. They're considered the best. Well, you're not gonna believe this, guys. He's over here eating my cat food. I don't know if I'm gonna scare him or not. I'll try and go slow. See him there? So now he's moved over to the cat food. He's moved over to the good stuff. Look at that. And he's just a crunching. He's close to me. See, I can almost reach out. Look, my hand's right there. Look, he's looking. Look. I can almost reach out. Just bend over a little bit. I can grab him. When it comes to food in their bellies, they like their food. So he's had half a bowl of dog food. Now he's eating the cat food. These opossums eat a lot. They eat more than cats. But I've only got one, so I don't know. Maybe I should name them. What would you name them? Give me a name to name an opossum. I don't know what name. Maybe because he's been here now a month eating. I think we need to make him a pet. Is what we do. So tomorrow night we're gonna do some camping. Me and my son in the yard. I'm gonna have some temperature setups for you guys to check, and I'll see if I can get some video of that. But this thing's probably getting pretty long. We're in the 30 minutes, and we'll see how we do with some of my equipment while we get ready for this winter. I need to get out and sight my crossbow yet. Everything keeps breaking, and I keep working. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one.